Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, or connecting with an off-market 1031 broker who can find you deals, especially out of state of California, is the best way for you to grow your wealth. I'm your host, Brett Swarts, and each episode I am joined by some of the best real estate, financial, wealth, and business minds in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. I'm excited about our next guest. I'm going to have him introduce himself since this is the short episode. Please welcome to the show with me, Mr. Kansas City commercial real estate broker, developer, owner, Logan Freeman. Hey, Logan, how you doing?
Man, I'm energized, thriving, and focused. I'm excited to be here, Brett.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here. We're diving into the one big question after you give maybe just a 30-second intro to your story. And then the big question is going to be this: what's the biggest frustration you, a client, or a partner has had when it comes to capital gains tax deferral options? But let's first start with the 30-second version, Logan, of who you are and what your focus is on right now.
You bet, Brett. So I'm a Midwestern boy, born and bred. I grew up throwing hay on the back of a truck and ended up into the commercial real estate world after being cut from the NFL. And I am residing in Kansas City, Missouri, and I help out-of-state clients actively and passively invest into real estate here in this market.
Beautiful. And so what's the one biggest frustration, Logan, when it comes to capital gains tax deferral options that maybe you, a client, or a partner has had?
The biggest frustration for me is when somebody reaches out to me and they have 3 days left to identify a property. And for me, it goes back to a story. And this was actually during COVID. So there was an extension, obviously, of the 1031 exchange deadlines if you met certain requirements during that period of time. However, I was on video. I was telling my clients, if you are looking to sell something and you have a 1031 exchange, you cannot wait until you're closing and you close to build a relationship in a new market. If you are listing a property and you know you're going to be doing a 1031 exchange, start identifying your markets and start building those relationships with brokers, with folks that have great options like DSTs, and build that team that you're going to need to make an efficient tax decision. That's my biggest frustration. And during COVID, the same exact thing happened. This person did not identify during the period of time where they got the extension. I was put under a very stressful situation during a time where sellers were not looking to sell necessarily. And I really had to drop everything that I was doing because it was a repeat client that I needed to perform for. And it just didn't need to happen that way. And so that was a big frustration for me this year. So I always tell people, be proactive, do not be reactive.
Yeah, really well said. I call that the fire drill, right?
Yes.
No one likes to work under a fire drill or a quick, I call a shotgun wedding sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you want time to be your friend, not to be your enemy. And if you're not preparing, developing those relationships and having your different options available, it puts a lot of stress on a lot of people, which is, no one needs more stress these days, right, Logan? I mean, there's been a lot of stress in the world, and we'll touch on that here in the full episode. But Logan, for those folks who want to get in touch with you, before I go there, I'll plug real fast. Sure. The Deferred Sales Trust. If you ever come across identification and you're running out of time, or you want to save a failed 1031, we can do that with the Deferred Sales Trust. We just did a deal in Georgia, Athens, Georgia, $7.6 million multifamily property. We saved his failed 1031 past his 45-day identification period, by the way. And he was actually in the COVID. Pre-COVID, he was in the exchange. COVID hit, and he said, I don't want to touch anything right now. I want to wait. So he paid off all of his debt, and he's sitting on the sidelines, and now he's invested into some syndication. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com about the Deferred Sales Trust and being a backup plan for your failed 1031. But for folks who want to get in touch with you, Logan, and look for some off-market opportunities, perhaps in the Midwest, what's the best place for them to find you?
LinkedIn is by far the best way to connect with me, Logan Freeman on LinkedIn. But if you want to head over to my website where I detail how our process works, it's livefreeinvestments.com, just how it's spelled.
Beautiful. Thanks, Logan, for being on the show. Look for the full episode to drop here soon on Logan's story, his brief NFL career, and how he's using his competitive focus to help his clients win with real estate.